Welcome back to sunny Skegness Raceway here on UK Open Championship Day for the Brisca Formula 2 stock cars. The main event with 36 cars on the grid coming up a little bit later on. First of all, we've got the two Consolation races, the final chance for drivers to qualify for the main events. First of them has 27 cars out on track. We get underway. Charlie Syme, 584, leading them off already. One or two cars getting spun aside. Paul Reed in there. Good to see he's repaired after his earlier tangle with Emma Mellis. 251 of Craig Driscoll comes through on the inside. Colin Gregg gets taken out. Tangles there with John Broach in the 722. Oh, and he's put him up the fence. What was that all about? Straight up the wall goes Colin Gregg in 305. So the yellow flags come out. Car stranded up on two wheels there, Colin Gregg in 305. Now we saw Gregg clash with John Broach in the heats earlier on. Maybe that had something to do with it. Let's have a look. Gregg takes a fearful wallop there from the all-white 722 of John Broach, takes him sideways and makes sure well and truly that he's in the wall. It looks as though John Broach is going to get going again, and he got another hit there from Jonathan Hadfield in the 142. Tries to keep his foot down, and then they go into the wall. Jamie Ward-Scott in trouble there as well, and there we see the parking place for Colin Gregg. John Broach seemed to be saying you should be in the crowd perhaps. Don't know what that was all about. We get back underway then. 584 Charlie Syme in the lead ahead of 379, which is one of the numerous Seneschals racing. That's Dale Jr. Should be number 88, shouldn't he, Dale Jr. NASCAR fans will get that reference. Number 3, Liam Rennie gets the bumper in on the 905 of Rob Mitchell. And you push and shove towards the front of the field. Craig Driscoll in there as well. And he gets taken out down the back straight, tangling with Seneschal. Driscoll in the fence into turn 3. More cars getting fired in there. That's Joe Marquand and a couple of others. Oh, Ayrton Mills again, so perhaps that was revenge for earlier on as well. Now 402 Mika Miller takes out Johnny Whittaker, suddenly kicking off in this Consolation event. 533 Johnny Whittaker, Johnny Egg as he's known. Another broken shell after that one. 324 Jordan Thakra moves past the 190 of Ben Germany, battling towards the front of the field. Kelvin Marshall coming through as well, but it's still the 584 of Charlie Syme who has got the lead in this Consolation 1. So many cars here this weekend, we had to have two Consolations. Aaron Veit getting the bumper in on Ben Lockwood in the 618. His form here at Skegness, well known, has had some great results this season. There is Syme leading the way. It's Emma Mellis in second place, Thakra third, Marshall fourth, Germany fifth. I think that's one of the Burgoynes in sixth place. I think it's Chris Burgoyne, world champion back in 2002. Emma Mellis dives underneath the race leader, takes it up, and she had got in front. Well, Kelvin Marshall, another former world champion, on her bumper there. He goes through. Emma Mellis fighting back, gets the bumper in on the 101, but here comes Jordan Thakra. His brother's already won a race here today. He wants a race win as well, and he's going into the lead. Cracking battle between 5 cars for the lead of the race. Chris Burgoyne wants a piece of this as well. It's Jordan Thakra who's got the lead. Ben Germany coming through in a second, but not for long. Emma Mellis using the bumper again. She's certainly a hard-hitting racer. Chris Burgoyne now goes through in the second. Kelvin Marshall challenging. Then Ben Germany. Charlie Syme in the middle of this. Oh, Emma Mellis gets taken out. Something had to give in the middle of that battle, and that something was the 621. We now resume single file, and Jordan Thakra has been able to build up a slight lead. It's the best race of the day so far. Liam Rennie under fire there. It's from Ben Lockwood. Things calming down just a little now. Here's Emma Mellis. She's got going again, but a lap down. Jordan Thakra it is who is looking to match his younger brother's feat, who took a heat win. Looking for a Consolation victory. Wait for Aaron Veit coming through now to challenge the leading group. Back of the number 3 of Liam Rennie very shortly. Ben Lockwood ahead of him. Emma Mellis settling back in, but of course she has now been lapped after that spin. Ben Germany going well in number 190. The fire from Lockwood, that's for 4th place. Chris Burgoyne up there in 3rd. Youngest ever F2 world champion when he won on home tarmac at Cowden Beach in 2002 in front of what was said was the loudest F2 crowd ever. Then Lockwood goes through for 4th place. Coming round to start the final lap this time is Kelvin Marshall, going to be able to challenge Jordan Thakra for the win here on the last lap. Probably wait till the final turn. So be mindful that Burgoyne's there behind them as well. Into Turn 3, is Kelvin Marshall going to get the bumper in? Yes, he is. The bumper goes in. He's going to go up the inside. Can he get the run onto the line? They're going to finish side by side, and Thacker has just helped. Very close there as they cross the line. Jordan Thacker just hanging on to take the win. Oh, we've lost Emma Mellis there on the last lap as well. Just got a glimpse of her car. Kelvin Marshall tried his hardest. It looked to me as though Jordan Thacker just hung on over the line. Yes, 500ths of a second, the margin of victory for Jordan. Chris Burgoyne third ahead of Ben Lockwood. Ben Germany, the yellow grader, in fifth ahead of Liam Rennie and Aaron Bates. And Rob Mitchell, Ian England and 142 of Jonathan Hadfield, completing the top 10 in Consolation number 1. Consolation number 2 out on track then. We've got 26 cars out there this time. A few big names. The 467 there, Aidan McFerrin towards the back for Northern Ireland. Chris Masters leading them off in number 177. 652 in the middle of the red tops there. Stevie Forster, another of the Scots. Then you push and shove Andy Ford there under fire from Craig Wallace in the number 16. From Scotland's leading racers. 3 wide there, 3 and 4 abreast as they go into turns 1 and 2. Solid scrub of cars, like a great shoal of multicoloured fish as they fight it out in Consolation number 2 here. Look at those last few points, they're bouncing off each other there. Kieran Bradford in the number 27 car was in the middle of that. Somehow they've all survived so far. Jack Cave under front, I think that's Tommy Farrell trying to get the bumper in as Bradford gets the bumper in on Shay Fegan in the 918. That's delayed the 224 car of Paul Dobson. Your early leader is Chris Masters in the 177 car. Tommy Farrell, number 667, 126, Jamie Avery in behind him. In great form in his home track of Taunton earlier this year. 801 Jack Cave chasing Jess Ward in the number 86. Farrell behind him, then it's Avery. 291 gets taken out wide, that's Dan Baker, saw him have a spin in his heats. Still 177 of Chris Masters who's got the lead, and a tangle up there. That's Fagan and Bradford. They continued their battle. They're stuck together on the outside of the turn, trying to free themselves. Kieran Bradford up to the top grades for the first time in his career this year. He's stuck there, T-bone fashion. Continue on in this Consolation number 2. Third graders not yet challenging Masters for the lead. The first of them, number 78, that's Henry King. Back in Brisca F2 over the last couple of years after a spell on the circuits, racing Legends cars. The back of the 544 there of Will Adams. Find Justin Fisher and the fire from Stevie Forster, opposite ends of the UK, those two. Jim Bradford trying to get going again but not having much luck. One of the white graders being sent wide in there as well. A challenge on for the lead here from 78. Here comes Henry King, Gobby as he's known to his friends. Gets the bumper in on Chris Masters and goes through. Henry King, your new leader. Fires the 711 car out wide there as well. He's not hanging around for the back markers. It was Mitch Hardy that got fired wide. Spun out of his heat. Taken wide again by Will Adams in the 544 as the higher graders now start to stream through. Justin Fisher, Paul Rice in 890, Stevie Forster. It's a battle for the minor placings. So moving up onto our leaders is Craig Wallace in number 16. British champion. The fire there from Ryan Sheehan in the 325 car, still allowing Henry King to get clear in the 78s. Looks like he's heading for victory. 997 Barry Clow goes a lap down. Shay Fegan, I think he's already lapped after his tang. Yes, his tangle earlier on with Kieran Bradford, of course. Rice gets the bumper in on Forster. Chris Masters still going well in behind them in the 177. Blue Raiders slowing there on the outside. Oh, and Chris Masters has been taken out. He gets hit by Jack Cave, I think that was. That's a great shame. He was on for a good placing there. This man's certainly on for a good placing. He's well out in front. 78. Henry King is heading for victory. Well clear of everybody else. There's the checkered flag. A dominant win for Henry King in car number 78. For the rest of the placings in a moment. It was a frantic midfield scrap there. No doubt about the winner though. Number 78, Henry Gobby King takes the win, ahead of Craig Wallace by nearly 2 seconds. Third for Justin Fisher, ahead of Ryan Sheehan. Then Paul Rice rounding up the top 5. Good strap for him with Stevie Forster, Jack Cave, Gary Wrench, Jamie Avery and white grader Will Adams rounding out the top 10. The most famous words in motorsport herald the engines into life for the main event, the UK Open Championship for 2021. Mickey Brennan has qualified on pole, 36 cars out there. Great to see Mike Phillip up there on the front row. Harley Thakra on the inside of row 2. Gordon Moody is back in the midfield alongside John Palmer. You can just see him, I think that is there on the inside. Courtney Witt's in there, Jack Prosser, Robbie Dawson, Dale Moon. Just some of the cars that we can see on the grid here. This will be a 20-lap race. Harley Thakra alongside Ewan Miller on row 2. Harley Burns on row 3 alongside Luke Wrench. He could be a favourite here. Then Tristan Claydon. Gordon Moody on the inside of row 5. Now, is it going to be the usual pattern in Brisca F2 title races? Are they going to all take each other out on the first lap? It often happens. James Rigall in there alongside Tristan Claydon. Time for the main event. The UK Open Championship, 36 cars, 20 laps. Mickey Brennan, former double world champion on pole. Lead them round towards the green flag, the pack about to be unleashed. Here we go, Brennan anticipated the start superbly. Bit of a slow getaway for Mike Phillip. Now, are they all going to get round the first turn? No, they're not even going to get that far. Look at this, up onto his side there. I think that's Andrew Palmer in the 6060. That's going to be a red flag straight away. There's more carnage coming out of turn 2. Mike Phillip's been taken out in 195 and the race stops. Dave Polly's in the wall. His car supporting Andrew Palmer there up on its side, and the red flag is out. Every time in Brisca F2 title races, the same thing happens. Well, with 36 cars out there, you could argue that was unavoidable, but so many drivers try and win the race almost before it started. Courtney Witts was involved there, Jack Prosser, I think that was Luke Beeson in the middle of that as well, but Andrew Palmer, the man up on his side. Dave Polly's car involved as well, and we have a full restart. No Mike Phillips, so Ewan Miller moves up onto the front row. We've lost about 5 cars there. Away they go, and Mickey Brennan not quite with as quick a start this time. Here we go down towards the first turn. Matt Stoneman has already been taken out in 127. They've all got away this time. Luke Wrench in 560 fires a couple of cars out wide, and Gordon Moody's going to go up the inside of everybody. I said he had a decent position on the inside of row 5. He bumpers Luke Wrench out wide, and already the Scotsman's into the lead. Now, is he going to charge away like he did in the 2019 World Final? Not if Luke Wrench has got anything to do with it, and wallop, straight in we go. Out goes Gordon Moody, out goes Luke Wrench. He's taken himself out there, and Moody's going to be spun aside into turn 3 by, I couldn't quite see who that was. Well, Luke Wrench is going to get a new nickname here, the Hammer of the Scots, I think. That's Moody gone, and it's Dave Polly who's come through into the lead ahead of Robbie Dawson, Ollie Skeels. There's more cars going out. They are going to all try and take each other out in the first 2 laps. More mayhem there. About 5 cars went there on turns 1 and 2 for the third time. Already lost track of the leaders. I think it's Dave Polly in 38 who's got the lead. Now remember, he was in that pile-up on the first start, so he was lucky. There's more cars piling in. Look at this, Jessica Smith's gone. She has Jordan Thakra stuffed backwards into her by a couple of others. But we're only 5 laps into this. There's going to be nobody left by half distance at this rate. Kelvin Marshall gets past John Palmer in the 24. Harley Thakra's gone. I think we've lost just about everybody from the first 5 rows of the grid. Yellow flags out because of stranded cars there. Thakra, in fact, both the Thakras there, both the brothers and Jessica Smith. We'll see some highlights of those early stages. Harley Thakra had already gone. There's the reason for the stoppage. Jessica Smith was already in the wall, and about 3 cars crashing into her. James Rigall, Jordan Thakra, and another of the white graders. Then more cars went off further round. There's so many cars involved, impossible to follow them. Well, it's Dave Polly, number 38, who struck lucky with the red flag because he was in that initial pile-up, who's got the lead. Second, it's Robbie Dawson. Third is Ollie Skeels, and the pole sitter Mickey Brennan has recovered into 4th place. This is why drivers sometimes try not to... Now Brennan's been taken out by Stevie Burgoyne. So many cars gone into the wall in the first quarter of this one. National bangers don't hit each other this much. This is complete mayhem. Well, we're not even at halfway yet, and I think we've lost about half the field. Now Ben Lockwood gets fired in by Craig Wallace and a couple of others there. This is brutal stuff. Tristan Claydon and Henry King, both winners already this weekend. Ryan Farquhar on the receiving end of some punishment there as well. Henry King now under fire from Justin Fisher. Chris Burgoyne slowing up, another big name out of the race. Still Dave Polly, number 38 with the lead. Smoke from, I think that's Jordan Thackeray's car, so he did get going again after that chaos with Jessica Smith and a few others. Tyre rubbing on the bumper there. Under fire from Ryan Sheehan. This has been complete mayhem, as Brisca F2 title races always are. It's Polly from Dawson. Kelvin Marshall now up into third place. That looks like John Palmer at number 24 in fourth, with Tristan Claydon completing the top five. It's quieting down now, we reach halfway. But saying earlier, drivers sometimes try not to qualify on the leading rows for Brisca F2 title races, because you've seen what happened, they just get flung into the wall on the first turn. Happened many times. It may well happen in the upcoming European Championship at Northampton as well. Settled down now in the second half of this UK Open title race, or have they? No, Justin Fisher's now going to be taken out. He backs in Tristan Claydon. This really is turning into a banger race for many of the leading contenders. Absolute chaos. Gordon Moody came through from row 5 to take the lead on the first lap, and was then swiftly dispatched by Luke Wrench to crowd approval, it has to be said. Big crowd in attendance here at Skegness are loving this. Dave Polly with the lead. Ollie Skeels, who ran third early on, now a lap down. Dave Polly, the man who competed in 100 meetings in a season a few years ago. He, of course, won the National Points Championship that year. Won a couple of titles in Brisca F2. He's well clear in front. There's Mr. Box Office, John Palmer, chasing Robbie Dawson. That's the battle for third, with Kelvin Marshall clear in second. Tristan Claydon in fifth. It's Henry King in sixth. There's not going to be too many finishers to this one. We've only got about half the field left, I think. It's Kelvin Marshall. Good to see him back racing this year. Robbie Dawson gets some bumper from John Palmer. Plymouth goes through into third place. Robbie Dawson, based up in the north of Scotland, tries to fight back. Tristan Claydon behind them in 2:10. He's had a cracking weekend. It'll be a red top in a week or two's time. It's going to be a win surely now for Dave Polly. I don't think Kelvin Marshall is going to catch him. Back markers between first and second place. You can see there Ryan Farquhar is just behind the race leader. Going round to start his final lap then. His family background in non-contact hot rod racing, but Dave Polly has been at the top of his game in Brisca F2 for several years now, and he is coming in to win the UK Open Championship. Round the final turn, Dave Polly wins the UK Open by a clear margin ahead of Kelvin Marshall in second, and John Palmer will complete the podium. Beyond that, there's not too many cars left running as Polly celebrates. That was absolute mayhem, as we expected it to be, and we love it. Dave Polly the winner by 1.8 seconds ahead of Kelvin Marshall, with John Palmer taking third. Robbie Dawson fourth ahead of Henry King. Tristan Claydon was a late retirement. Ben Lockwood sixth ahead of Craig Wallace, Luke Beeson, Graham Fegan and Dale Moon completing the top 10.
Winner of the UK Open Championship for Brisca Formula 2's 38, Dave Polly. Dave, congratulations first of all, you must have enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a really good race. It's a lot more exciting than I thought it might be.
And you had a very exciting first start before the Reds, because you had Andrew Palmer on the side here.
Yeah, we had a little mishap on the first start, but it was all right. The car was good afterwards, so we managed to get back to the front.
You've had a good couple of weeks. You were showing good form at Buxton, just never had the luck last week, and winning the final this week, it must give you confidence.
Yeah, it does. We normally struggle at Buxton, but didn't have a bad weekend last weekend. But no, to come here this weekend, we had bad heats, good final last night, and a very good final today.
Moving on, it gives you a bit more go in the 38 machine. The fans will be happy going home tonight.
Yeah, we'll be happy going home tonight.
Well done, Dave.
Thank you.
The remaining cars, 25 of them on the grid for the Grand National, those drivers who haven't disappeared to watch a certain football match, get underway with the Grand National. Then once again it's Charlie Syme who takes up position at the front of the field. Courtney Witts fired wide there on the first turn. There's Graham Fegan, Billy Webster. I don't think Dave Polly is out there in this one. He's gone to celebrate his title win. There's Jonathan Hadfield, 142, also a circuit racer in Ginetta sports cars. 184 Aaron Veit in there. Ed Mills pushes Harley Thakra out wide. For a family repairing his car from that chaos in the early stages of the UK Open. White Graders holding sway at the moment. Luke Beeson coming through into third place behind one of the Seneschals. That's 379. It's Dale Jr. Place behind them for the white tops, and then we've got, I think that's Jordan Thakra coming through in 324, so the Thakra is still hungry for success here. Charlie Syme in 584 it is who leads the way. Clear margin at the moment. There's Jamie Ward-Scott, number 881, 3 Liam Rennie, 184 is Aaron Veit moving through on the inside, always quick here at Skegness, as is the man just behind this group, Ben Lockwood. 928 coming under fire, that's Lauren Stack. 402 on the outside there is Mika Miller. Still the lower graders holding sway at the moment. John Palmer, tarmac specialist, moving up onto the back of Ben Lockwood in the 618. Still leading the way, it is Charlie Syme. Can he hang on in front for a victory this time? Liam Rennie gets some bumper from 618 of Ben Lockwood. Side by side there between Rennie and Lockwood, and Palmer will get through on the inside past the number 3. Charlie Syme meanwhile has been caught by Luke Beeson in the 287. He'll move through into the lead. Jordan Thakra up into third place in the 324. Liam Rennie back ahead of Lockwood. Great scrap going on between these two. They've been caught by 226 of Billy Webster as well. I think it was him who tangled with Gordon Moody in the early stages of the title race earlier on. After Luke Wrench had landed the initial wallop straight in. There haven't been many major wallops outside the title race this weekend, except for Colin Gregg climbing the fence courtesy of John Broach. Second half of this Grand National now, it is still Luke Beeson who leads the way in 287. We watch the red graders battling further back. Aaron Veit under fire from John Palmer. Third place in the title race. Bounces off the fence there down the home straight past the starter. Way up on Harley Thakra in number 9 as well. In goes the bumper from Harley on the back of Charlie Syme. Apologies, no, that's 142 John Hadfield, similarly liveried car. Charlie Syme fighting back here. Play to the white grader, taking on the blue tops. Bit of smoke there from the back of, I think that's Palmer in the 24. Still on the inside, Hadfield behind him, and bumpers going in all over the place here. I think there might be a bit of fluid down on the track. They seem to be sliding around a lot, and they certainly are there. In goes Syme, and one of the blue tops, I think that was Hadfield, that was dispatched by John Palmer. A couple of other spinners there as well, we can see. Yeah, there's definitely, I think, some oil gone down on the track somewhere. They seem to be sliding about a lot. There's Luke Beeson leading the way. Palmer's now up into second place ahead of Lockwood. Then it's Aaron Veit. Yes, there's very little grip left out there. You can see them slipping and sliding into the turns there at a much reduced pace. They've lost Liam Rennie there, number 3. Maybe he's the culprit. Well, it's going to be a win for 287. They're not going to catch the man who can't decide if he's a yellow or a blue top at this meeting. Luke Beeson, here he comes, out of the final turn, takes the last win of the weekend. Everybody else slithers their way home to take the minor placings. Ben Lockwood second, John Palmer third, and I think it was Billy Webster who took fourth ahead of Brad McKinstry. We'll confirm that in a moment. There was definitely some fluid on the track in the closing stages there. It was slip and slide in the last 5 laps or so. Luke Beeson, though, takes the win. Ahead of Ben Lockwood by 2.5 seconds. They weren't going to catch him from there. Lockwood second ahead of Palmer, Webster and McKinstry. Then it was Jordan Thakra for the Harley, ninth behind Aaron Veit and Johnny Hadfield. Graham Fegan rounding out the top 10 in our last race of the weekend.
Winner of the Formula 2 Grand National 287, Luke Beeson. Luke, what a great end to a great weekend of racing.
Yeah, we didn't have too good of a day yesterday. Could have had a couple of wins yesterday, but technical problems stopped us from having that. So, I mean, to finish the weekend with a win is what more can you ask for, really?
The car's in one piece and you can move on to your next meeting.
Well, the car in one piece is always a positive, but sometimes it don't go that way.
Tell us a little about yourself. How long have you been racing F2s?
This will be my 6th year racing F2s. Come from karting beforehand, did about 4 years. Taken us a fair while to get to where we are now, and there's still a long way to go.
But you're enjoying it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, all I can say is congratulations on your Grand National win and hope to see you again
much.
soon.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you very much, Luke.
That concludes some very hard-hitting action indeed from the Brisca F2s here on UK Open Day here at the Skegness Raceway. Brilliant action all weekend from the Brisca Formula 2 stock cars, and a typically hard-hitting title race. The F2s have certainly entertained this weekend. Well done indeed to all the drivers and their teams for keeping the cars running, and to all the officials here at Skegness Raceway 2. Congratulations to Dave Polly on his UK Open title. More stock car action coming up very soon, but for now, thanks for watching and goodbye.